Hey, I'm Eric. I'm listening to 100 albums in 100 days. For all the details on what I'm doing and why, check out the video pinned to my profile. Today I listened to the 1982 album Spring Session M from Missing Persons. This is a pure 1980s sounding album, and I mean that in a good way. It sounds like something. This whole album, every single song on there sounds like something John Hughes would put in one of his movies, like 16 Candles or Pretty in Pink, or some of those earlier ones. Some of the stuff could have been on, if it had been out in time, it could have been on Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Every song sounds like it belongs on an 80s soundtrack. It was a great album. The two songs you probably heard from this are Words and Walking in LA. Those get a lot of play on XM right now on 80s on 8. I vaguely remember them from the 80s. I remember them more from the past 5 or 6 years from XM. Those are really good songs. I think those were their two big singles off of this album. This is their debut album. I think they had 2 more albums after this, I believe, maybe 3. But they didn't really do much. They broke up in '86. Other songs on here that I like are Noticeable One. That's the album opener, and it's a rocker, and it's a great song. And then they had another single that didn't do much, but it was still a great song. It's Destination Unknown. Terrific song. Lead singer Dale Bozzio, she just has a distinctive voice, and I've always liked it. She does this little I can't even describe what it is. You just have to listen to it, and just really where she kind of goes up. She has this falsetto sound at the end of some of her lines. That's very distinctive, and nobody else did it. And so, but Dale Bozzio, the lead singer, was married at the time to the drummer Terry Bozzio, which is the other really big feature of this album. Terry Bozzio has played for just about everybody. He's played for Frank Zappa, Dweezil Zappa, Richard Marx, Herbie Hancock. He was in Andy Taylor from Duran Duran's band. He's just played for everybody. He's just a tremendous drummer and always has a great sound. And if you want to fall down a rabbit hole, go Google Terry Bozzio drum set. The guy has just got this impossibly large set. It's just, there's drums and cymbals everywhere. It's so big. You just have to see the picture to appreciate how enormous it is. Like I said, this is a really fun album. I will definitely listen to this again. I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of Missing Persons fans out there. But if there are, let me know what you think of the album, or if you remember it. It came out in '82. I was 12, so I don't really remember this from the 80s at all. I don't even remember those singles, actually, if I'm being honest. But if you've never heard this album, or all you've heard are the singles, it is worth a listen, because there were a couple of songs that I was like, but I still listened to them. I didn't skip through them. I listened to this album twice, all the way through, and then a couple of the songs I listened to a couple more times. So if that tells you anything. Like I said, it's a pure 80s sound in a good way. There's a lot of synth, but there's a lot of rock guitar in there too. I can't think of who I could compare them to for their sound. But it's definitely an 80s sound, and I love that part. That's a plus for me. That's just, it's amazing just how 80s it is. So if you get a chance, go out and check the album out and let me know what you think.